Oh, Elara.
Elara.
Yeah.
Elara or Elara?
Elara.
Elara?
Elara, yeah.
Elara, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Is that Elara or Elara? Elara.
Elara.
Yeah. Elara. I'm sure there's like a more intense way of it, but it's not an Arabic name, so I actually don't know the real way to pronounce it.
Word?
Yeah. It's a Greek name.
Okay.
But I'm not Greek, so I don't really know the real...
You don't know the origin?
No, I know the origin.
You need to know your full origin story, bro.
I know my origin story. I know where the name comes from. It's a character from Greek mythology.
Okay.
And now it's my last name.
Okay.
But like since I didn't grow up with Greek culture, I'm not Greek. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. I've asked like a Greek guy before and he told me. I have like a voice note of it somewhere, but yeah.
Okay.
He asked me to pronounce something like, I'll tell you how to say my first name. It's Adam.
That's easy.
Adam.
You know?
It's not Adam. It's Adam. Adam.
Elara.
Adam.
Elara.
You're still saying Adam. It's Adam. Yeah, that's like the Arabic way.
Adam.
Yeah.
Adam.
There you go.
Adam.
There you go.
Adam Elara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole
Adam.
Hold on.
That's the whole episode. No. Because you were asking if he was going to get the podcast started soon. And it might not be today, but it might be tomorrow.
What?
Shout out to our guest, Adam Elara. Hey!
All right.
He was like, what?
Love it. All right.
Yeah. Welcome back to another episode. Wayy Up. I am so excited for our guest today, man. I already like your outfit, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, thank you.
I love the pantalones. You know what I mean? They have a whole lot of pockets, utility vibes. And I'm like a utility vibe kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Do you want to do like a fit check? Is that what we're doing right now?
No, but you can.
These shoes.
Okay.
These shoes
Yeah.
are called Cervez. This is the brand. You can't get this in the US.
Nope.
Really?
These are Cervez Cheetahs. These are the official shoe of the Taliban.
No way, really?
Well, thank you for tuning in to an episode of Wayy Up.
Swear.
Until next time.
Do you want to know why I got these? I don't really rock with the Taliban. Here's what happened. All right, I'll tell you.
I need the plug.
They're actually fire. They're really
The
comfortable.
Taliban plug is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yo,
Yeah.
hey, yo, Taliban. If you're tuning in, hey, hook me up with a sponsorship. Hey, this podcast is brought to you by the Taliban.
No! Oh my god, that's the last. This is like the last thing I'm ever on. They can never see me again. So I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. Here's why I got these. All right. There is a production that I was on.
All right.
Okay. And I can't say the name. It's an NDA thing, but it takes place in Afghanistan. All right. And we were going through wardrobe, and I was talking to wardrobe, and it takes place not like a long time ago. It's like somewhat current day. Okay. And they had us wearing sandals. And I'm like,
ooh, the dog's out.
Yeah, but I'm like, but why are we wearing sandals? This show takes place in the mountains. They don't wear sandals there. It's like, well, they're poor. You know, I'm like, yeah, but they have shoes, right? Like, what the fuck? And they're like, well, that's not the image we're gonna go with. And I'm like, oh, I know what the fucking image you want, right? Like, the same fucking image that you've been putting us through for the last like 20 years in the media, right? Yeah. We're dirty, we're poor, we can't even wear shoes. I'm like, it snows in Afghanistan. Yeah. Why the fuck would they be wearing sandals, right? Like, it's crazy. So then they had the Taliban characters wearing like boots. And I'm like, I know they don't even wear boots.
That's crazy. Okay.
I was like, they don't
I know they don't even wear boots.
Because like the way you identify them is these shoes. That's how you know that they're legit.
So the Taliban's drippy is what you're telling me.
Yeah. And they get them from Pakistan. They get them from over the border because Pakistan and Afghanistan like this. Mm-hmm. So if you go on Google image search and you type in Taliban sneakers, these show up. And I showed that to the wardrobe and they couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, you guys didn't even do your research. Like you're supposed to be making an authentic show, right? Like you're trying to make it look real life or whatever. And they didn't even do that. Sheesh. So you just saw the picture?
Somebody on Reddit said, pit myself up some Taliban.
Yeah, can you imagine if these get on what was that one like secondhand hype store that online?
I read it.
Yeah. No, what's that one place that people get like used Jordans and stuff off of?
Sneaker stores?
No, like online.
Oh, like Goodwill?
Oh, StockX?
StockX. Oh, Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
We got the Taliban ones and stock.
Dude! Yeah. So that's the story. That's how I got it.
Yo, they drippy.
They drippy.
Yo, they're drippy. I need a whole fit from them, dog.
Is it safe to put this on the screen?
I don't know.
Taliban exists. That's on Google. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not.
That is true.
It's not like
That
it
is
don't
true.
exist.
That's true. Hey,
You know what's also crazy is that these guys defeated the U.S. military.
Because they got J's on, or they got the T's
Well,
on.
if you think about it, the U.S. went in to Afghanistan in 2001 to fight the Taliban. 2021, the U.S. leaves Afghanistan. Who's still in power? The Taliban.
Yep.
So the biggest military in the world could not defeat the drippiest.
Because they're drippy, dog. Yo,
By the way, I don't rock with them. I don't agree.
nah, you don't rock with them.
No, I think that women should be able to read and go to school and all that. I don't agree with
They
their
just have
policy.
nice style.
I just like I like the shoes. And I got this despite the wardrobe department of that production. That's all.
It's just like, you know, it's like
Kanye.
Yeah, Kanye.
Whoa. What do you mean like Kanye?
As in, like, Kanye's like, I don't know, a little crazy, but his shoes, got him.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Enough. I was like, I can't rock with what he's saying.
Exactly. That's the point. That's the point right there. Yeah, but your shoes, though, they're comfortable, and I like them.
Comfortable, yeah.
Yeah, these shoes are not bad.
Exactly. I have way too many of those. Definitely gotta get rid of them. Okay.
Gotta get rid of them.
All right, so we gotta start off, as we usually do now, with our bruh moment. So, I don't know if you know what a bruh moment is. We're gonna start, and you're gonna finish it off.
A bruh moment?
Yes.
Okay.
A moment that happened recently, or just in general, that just makes you go like, bruh. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
A moment that makes you go, bruh.
Makes me go, bro.
Go ahead, Isaac.
Mine. You know what? I go to this every night, actually. I go to the gym. I go to the gym every night. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I try to work out 2 times a day, you know,
Yeah.
in the morning and at nighttime. So when it comes to my nighttime, of course, all these high schoolers, you know, they want to hang out at the gym.
Hang out at the gym at night is crazy.
Hang out at the gym. Just always hogging up all the machines and stuff, man. Honestly, this happened to me recently. I was on I forgot what workout I was doing. I was on the machine, right? Man, totally tell he was in high school. He's like, "Hey, man, how many sets you got?" I'm like, 2 more, bro. Fam is just distance right here, bro.
Oh, nah.
Waiting for me. I'm like, bro, you can have it. Just
No. That's in your personal space on the workout with a stranger.
And then what made me really go, bruh? So when I went to the other side of the gym to go for another workout, right? And then I see where my machine is at, bro. It's literally just hanging out over there where I was. It's like they're not even working out.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's a brand moment for sure.
Did you ask to use the machine?
Huh?
Did you interrupt?
I never do that, man.
You should do that.
You should say, "Hey, can I use that?" And then just walk away and never come back.
I normally, if I see someone's like, if I see someone on a machine or something where they're like on their phone or something, I'll just like politely be like, "How many sets do you have?" And then they'll be like, "Oh shit, someone's waiting for it."
Yeah.
And
hopefully most
people
get it going.
like, you know, fucking vacate it. But if you just let them do that, then they don't think they're causing.
Me, it's like I'm sorry, I can't stand with people because when I'm at the gym, I don't mess around, bro. I'm there to work. So when people like interrupt, asking me how many sets I got left, it's like, what if I got 10 more sets, bro?
Then you have 10 more sets.
Yeah. Like,
then that's
don't ask.
No,
when I'm gone,
it's like I'll be here for a while.
If there's only one of that machine or equipment,
that is true.
Then you should ask, and somebody should ask you. That's just
common courtesy.
Common courtesy.
Gym courtesy.
If there's like 4 of that shit, then it's like, don't fucking ask me. It's like being in the bathroom and there's 10 urinals open.
And a guy
and they go to one right
beside me. I hate that.
And especially at the ones that don't have like
the walls. I hate those. I try to find the corner one.
I'll be like,
all right, dog. Like, you know,
you know what I mean? Like, let me. This is a shameful thing. I'm pissing in public, bro. Like, let me.
Yes, like give me a barrier.
Yeah, space, bro. Come on.
Which is funny because like I remember being a kid. Out and about, like I would just pee everywhere. Like,
oh, for sure.
Outside was like that's the most free thing a man can experience.
Still do it,
especially if it's into a natural body of water. Like, if you guys ever like just
into a river is actually crazy.
Into a river. I mean, no, it's seriously like
lo and behold, 100 yards further, there's a guy out there trying to catch fish.
I am.
Now we got pea fish.
I'm contributing.
He's like, ooh, this fish tastes a little different this week.
It's like I'm contributing to the water cycle of life. You know, like this pee is leaving me going into the body of water.
My man's trout is gonna taste different this week, dog.
Yeah.
Hey, come on. At some point, all water has probably been piss.
Oh, for sure.
It's been like some dinosaur's piss or something. You know, like. I mean, what do you think fossil fuels are?
That's very accurate.
That's very.
It's extremely accurate.
It's like decomposed dinosaurs.
It's like I just feel bad for that
All right,
boy
bro,
George down
what's
the
your
river, dog. My bro moment is that our American troops don't have sneakers. Why does the Taliban have sneakers and we don't have sneakers?
We got nothing, bro.
I got an extremely recent bro moment. Like, yo, American soldiers, why are we not dripping? The Taliban got the T1s, the T2s, the T3s, and all we got is a random drop by Donald Trump at a sneaker con. Huh? What are we doing?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Donald Trump got the Trump 40s, or whatever they call it, dog. I don't even know what they call it, bro.
They're like limited to 40 or something like that.
I'm like, yo, that's what we got as America. But they over there, they got the T1s, the T2s, the serve as cheetahs, dog. Because they running past us stylistically in the military, dog.
Pakistan, yeah.
Like, yo,
bro.
That's my bro moment. Why we don't have the most drippiest military in the world?
Well, we have the most.
Or at least, you know what? The Italians could have the most drippy. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, we could.
Italy,
I haven't seen
Italy, dog. They should be.
I mean,
what?
between Gucci and all the other designer brands they have, why aren't they?
No.
You know who's? You know what else is crazy?
What?
Guess who did the Nazi uniforms? Hugo Boss.
Hugo Boss. Dang.
Man,
That's
we
a
don't
bro
get
moment.
nothing. Bro.
Dang. We don't got nothing. I know.
Exactly.
That's Italian in the military?
It is Italian. Yeah, they look the
Yeah,
same.
they just look like
the same.
military.
They look this. See, that's what I'm saying. But we gotta catch up, bro.
Nah, they look pretty flashy right here with the hats.
I like the red hats. The
red
berets
hats
are
are
cool.
The berets are
yeah,
solid.
that's
It's a bit snazzy.
Yeah, that's style.
Definitely.
I'm trying to think of a bro moment I had, man. Like I can't. My life's been pretty cool right now.
No, it can be from any point. Mine was
like,
just
bruh.
a recent thing because of what you just unveiled to us. That I'm gonna go shopping for after we finish this.
Dude, we should start importing them.
I'm like,
blow them up on StockX.
That'd be crazy.
Can you imagine? Because like Jordans have their thing, Yeezys have their thing. There's like a couple of other, specific shoes. What this is not really culturally known right
we
now.
can corner the market
we
with
should
this, dog.
take those to Cool Kicks, bro.
Bro, he's like, hey, how much can I get for these? He's like, what are
Take
they?
it to Robbie to the
See,
Robbie
let me
the
tell you,
icon,
I
bro.
think in their currency it's like 40,000 rupees, but here that's like $15.
Yeah,
I want a pair of those.
facts. Just
I
to
give you
say,
$15.
It costs to import it though. It's crazy.
yeah, the importing costs. Well, it probably wouldn't be too bad. Probably like $6.
I got lucky because my mom happened to be in Saudi for a while, and then she went and visited Pakistan, and then while she was there, I asked her to get these. And then like all my cousins were like,
Dang.
why are you getting this shoe? Like we want Nikes and Adidas here. Why would you want our shoe? I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you.
Look, dog.
Over the phone.
Tell us on camera though.
I'm not gonna tell you over the phone because this call could be recorded. But there's a specific reason, and then like once I got him, I explained what was it like, why, and then they're like, "That's so funny."
And now the whole world's about to see this.
That's fire.
Make sure you make it look right, but include the disclaimers and stuff because that would be not a good look for me.
Yeah, if y'all see me rocking these on the next episode, don't be surprised.
With like an AK.
Like that'd be. They'd be like, Josh has changed his whole entire life around. He got the shoes and don't know how to act now.
Yeah.
Like I saw Josh in the corner of the
I
highway.
really don't have a bra moment. I'm struggling.
I'm sure you did.
I'm struggling to come up with a bra moment. I feel like every time.
What's something that you just want to complain about?
I'll tell you like some real shit. If I think about complaining about something right now, especially for the last 6 months.
You gonna spiral?
Huh?
You gonna spiral?
No, I just can't complain about first world problems because I know like.
Yeah, that's what's called a bruh moment.
Yeah, but it's just like
I
really can't bring myself to feel bad about it. Ooh, okay,
There it is. I can't really feel bad. But actually though.
There's one. So last year I let go of my manager and my agent. It wasn't working out.
Word.
Right. We were just not,
Yeah.
They weren't giving me the right shots. Early this year is when I started like looking for new reps and trying to fill out my team, my roster to make sure I have good management representation, all that. And as I'm taking these meetings, you're just emailing, you're submitting, you're doing all that stuff. You're doing what you have to do. And I get a call from the owner of a certain agency, and I was like, oh, that normally doesn't happen because normally assistants handle this. Normally, or other agents and stuff. The owner of a huge agency never calls you.
Word.
So I thought it was going to go well. This dude ends up ripping me a new one. He's just yelling at me. He's telling me like, you ain't shit. Everything that you've been in so far ain't shit. A monkey could have, this is an actual quote from, a monkey could have casted you and the stuff that you've been in so far. Like, just basically telling me I'm worthless. So I'm like, I'm supposed to be your client now? Like, what are we doing here? I thought this was like a friendly, like, meet and greet over the phone. Like,
that's actually crazy.
I can't imagine being represented by you. Like, you're such an asshole. He had some good points. He had some good points, and I took those and I've used them. Like but the entire time, it's like, I've already been on the phone with you for 10 minutes. I never do this. Look how important I am. Like my time is so
that's gross.
It was so I hated it. I swear, if I see this man on the streets of LA, it's on sight. I'm decking him out.
You're gonna have the soul of a Taliban sneaker and play on your face.
We cannot say it like that.
Sorry.
That sounds like a hate
Actually,
crime.
take that back. You'll on your rear end.
I'll probably just be wearing Adidas. No, but I'm serious. Like, 'cause I'm not a very violent person. Yeah. I've definitely tempered down my anger. I'm not like an angry teenager anymore. So like, but I will say that was the first time that in a while I was like, man, this is a really punchable human being.
Word.
And I know he's out and about. And
everyone gets that feeling once in a while about somebody. I'm like, dang, I just want to.
And I'm like, what a fucking dick, dude. Like, what? Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I might have to catch a case. Like,
that's wild.
Yeah, like. That was my brother.
Let me be there to film it, though, at least.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, because it will be kind of whack if it's not captured.
But I mean, it might just be like out and about. Like, I might just see him in front of a Whole Foods and then it's over.
Oh, it's definitely over.
That was my bra moment. I'm like, dude.
That's fair.
Like,
no, that's valid.
This was supposed to be a meeting and like, you're going to talk to me like this? Bro.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. For you let that out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bro. That's therapy.
Chest,
it's therapeutic. You know what I mean?
That was it.
Wow.
We can turn this whole thing into a therapy session.
I have somebody for that, but I appreciate it.
So how does that make you feel?
The therapy?
Yeah.
Going to therapy has been very beneficial for getting in touch with your feelings and more importantly, why you're feeling those feelings and how to deal with them like in a healthy manner. You know, it's one thing to be, most people are not self-aware.
At all.
They'll just
they lack
quick to emotion and lack emotional intelligence. So it's not only important to be aware, hey, I am feeling this way now, but also important of why and how to deal with it. You know, it's like, yes, I'm angry, but like, what am I actually mad about?
And where did it came from?
What did it
when
come
you're
from?
a childhood, something sparked in like.
Is this useful in serving me in this moment? Especially when you have arguments with, say, like a significant other. Like, I know a lot of people who are in just awful relationships, and I think they lose sight of the fact that like you guys are supposed to be on the same team. It's not you versus your girlfriend or your boyfriend. It's like, no, we are versus this problem we're having. How do we as a unit deal with this in a healthy manner that gets us over this? Because this is probably going to sound like a hack of shit, but like when it comes to a lot of these like type of dynamic things, it's more important for me to be correct than to be right. And there's a fundamental difference.
It is. Absolutely is a difference.
For me to be right, that means you have to be wrong. For me to be correct, I feel like I have to know the right thing. Like I'm not wording this and articulating it the best way possible, but like I would much rather be wrong than to be right all the time.
Exactly.
And more importantly, for me to be wrong, I want to be proven why I'm wrong, so I never make that mistake again. Because if you just are like, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid, you don't know, you're just doing that game with me, it's like, okay, fair, but can you explain to me why? Because then I'll understand. Everything should be towards understanding.
Exactly.
We're getting all philosophical.
No, that's real. That's how I try to function in life. Is like, because as humans, of course, we want to be right. We don't like being wrong. We don't like to be in the wrong. So oftentimes, as a natural response, we want to protect our stance.
Yeah.
Especially if someone says you're wrong, you're like, nah, I'm digging in now.
But you have to fight against that impulse.
Exactly.
So now I'm no longer trying to hold on to be like right about everything. I'm like, no, like let's get to the truth.
Let's figure out let's figure out what the actual correct information, not me being right.
And can you demonstrably prove it? Mm-hmm. Can you like through evidence, logic, or like empirical, whatever it is? Because then otherwise we're both just arguing opinions.
And going nowhere.
Absolutely. So I think if you start fighting against that impulse of being like right all the time or having to get the last word in, all those things, and you just more like think like, try to be the dumbest person in the room. And if you find yourself consistently in a situation where you're constantly having to explain all the time and maybe your circle of friends aren't exactly moving you and making you aspire for more, you might need to reevaluate where you're at. Yeah. Because otherwise you're just surrounded by yes men, and that's not good either. At all. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I was gonna say like the more often you're wrong and you're able to learn from it, that's a great place to be. Because you're just constantly learning. I like making mistakes if I'm able to figure out what was the mistake. The fucked up thing is when you're on the hamster wheel of just making the same mistake over and over again, and you're learning nothing. And I saw myself in that cycle. I see a lot of my friends that are in the entertainment industry making that same thing, and I'm like, dude, like there is no growth here. Yeah, you can't keep doing that. Yeah. So, yeah, but
that's
the advice.
No, that was great because
I'm loving this.
Because what you said earlier was that you used to be an angry teenager. So this sounds very far from being an angry teenager. Oh yeah. So let's go even further back. Okay. And let's get your origin story, bro.
This is the angry teenager stuff.
No. Further back. Origin story.
Okay.
Born and raised. Where you from? What was it like?
From what I remember, it was dark and there was a lot of us, right? And we needed to go to this egg. And
that's actually crazy.
There was literally millions.
There was millions on millions.
But I'm the one that made it. I saw my goal. I was like, I'm gonna make it happen, and then we just fertilized that bitch, and then fucking started multiplying. And then 9 months later, out pops Adam Elara on a fucking sunny afternoon on a Sunday.
Word.
There it is.
Wow.
Where did you pop out?
Sunday? I don't remember the exact day.
What hospital?
It was in Webster, Texas.
Webster, Texas.
Yeah, small town out of Houston.
Word.
Pretty much
from Texas, huh?
Tejas, good old Tejas.
Shortly after being born in Texas, my family had moved to Chicago. We lived in Saudi Arabia for a while.
You lived in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, we had a farm in Saudi for a few years. And then we lived in Uzbekistan for a minute. Okay. Then we lived in Pakistan. We lived in Dubai. Then back to Houston, San Francisco Bay Area. Then went back to Texas again. Damn. And then now I'm here in LA. There you go. That's my whole little origin story for you.
Wow. What? Man, that's a lot of moving around. What age range were you doing a lot of the moving around?
A lot of that bulk of the, like, especially the country hopping stuff was done in like my childhood. So it was like, a lot of people that have grown up in the same place for their whole childhood and are now there as adults have like deep roots to a hometown. Yeah. I don't have that anywhere because every place I moved to was completely different. Yeah. Also, you'll ask a lot of people like, do you remember anything about being 7 years old or 6 years old? And most people will be like, no, I don't remember shit. But I remember that stuff because it was such a shock.
It was a profound difference.
Not only was I in a different country, the language being spoken in that country was completely different. The culture, the food, the dress, like all of it was different. Like Saudi and Pakistan are nothing alike. Pakistan and Uzbekistan are nothing alike. You're moving from Arabic speaking country to Urdu speaking to Russian speaking. It's very different. And then America obviously is English speaking. It's like American culture. So it's like that's like not trauma, but it's very like shocking. Yeah. So of course you're going to remember that stuff.
But how did you process that?
I just thought it was...
Did you just go with the full like,
I thought it was life. Normal.
Yeah, okay.
So like on a deeper level, when I lived in Saudi, people from all over the world come to Saudi because that's where it's like the Islamic, that's literally Mecca is there, right? So like millions of people from all over the world are there. So I just got used to the fact of seeing like people from every single race and culture being around me.
Even DJ Khaled went.
What's that?
DJ Khaled went like last year.
Hey, fuck DJ Khaled. Okay. Yeah, fuck him. yeah, we can get into why later, but sorry. Another one. No, but okay, so that's all being said, like you're surrounded by people of all different races and cultures and stuff, and it's normal.
Yeah.
You just accept that. And you're not living in a homogenous bubble. Not everybody looks the same.
Yep.
When I went to Uzbekistan, I didn't know the word of what was happening to me. So like basically every day that I would leave my little apartment that my parents had, I would get hurt every day. Because there was a group of blonde kids that would be waiting for me with straws and rocks in them and spit rocks at me. They would just could not wait to antagonize me.
Wow.
There were these blonde, blue-eyed white kids, these Russian kids that would just fucking pick on me. I was like 7 years old and I had no idea why. When we moved back to the United States, they were teaching us about, because it was in Texas, they were teaching us about the Confederacy. They were teaching us about Jim Crow and all that. And then like the civil rights. And then like it started coming together. Like, and then I started thinking about my childhood again. I'm like, oh, what those kids were doing was racism. I didn't have a word for what that was.
Oh, you were just very confused.
I was just like, there was the new kid.
You never told your parents?
My mom didn't really explain to me what was happening. I was really young. And she, you know, she wasn't outside with those kids when they were spitting rocks at me. She would just see me coming home getting hurt and be like, oh, here's another Band-Aid.
Oh, so she probably understood, but she probably felt like she was like, this is just where we are and this is what we're going through here.
It must be really tough as a parent to explain racism to a kid.
Yeah, facts.
Like, because like, especially coming from Saudi at that time, when you're just like, you just take it for granted. There's black kids in my class. There's Asian kids. There's white kids. There's Arab kids. There's like Indian kids. Like, and then there's me. And then, you know, you have everyone's just getting along.
Yeah,
how do you explain to a kid who just went through a life like that to, oh, now people are picking on you for something that you have you weren't even aware of? That's must be, I don't know how to do that. Like if you were to ask me right now how to do that to a kid, I wouldn't like how to explain it to him. Yeah. So coming back to the United States, that's when I was like, oh, that's what they were doing. And that's what they're doing to me now. And when I was in Texas, because then I started all over again. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay. So
how old were you when you moved back to Texas?
Yeah.
I think it was it was elementary school.
Elementary school.
Yeah. It was because it was like, you know, we're moving around a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it was like elementary school. And yeah, you know, that in growing up as a brown kid in Texas has its interesting moments. You know, there's some weird things that you hear about your people, and yeah, man, it was wild. I'm happy to be gone. Like happy to be here, bro. But every now and then, you get it here too.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It's
not like LA solved racism. That's an insane thing to say. Like you're still gonna get it, especially in our industry. I know. We hear more talks of diversity, equity, inclusion. We hear people
talked about.
We hear people talking about it. But if you drive around LA and you see all the billboards of all the casts of all the movies and TV shows, looking pretty white.
Yep.
It's funny, like we get one character, like this, you know, applies to like African American black characters too. Whether it's Asian, Mexican, black, brown, whatever. If it's not white, if they get a line, or if a character switches to like one of them, or they swap genders, everyone loses their fucking minds. Yep. Like it's the end of the world. But I remember growing up seeing white people playing my culture over and over and over again, and no one said foul. You even go way back, Lawrence of Arabia. Who's playing that Saudi sheikh? It's the same guy who played Obi-Wan from fucking A New Hope. Alec Guinness is playing, he's in brown face makeup. Yeah. And then you go to that, like, was it Breakfast at Tiffany's or, you know, Audrey Hepburn movie? Yeah. There's a white guy, Mickey Rooney, dressed up like as an Asian guy with like, he's squinting his eyes and he's got buck teeth with like a pencil mustache, making caricature of Asian people. And more recently, you got Prince of Persia, played by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that was a big thing when it happened. Yeah.
Okay, but like LA has the largest population of Iranian people outside of Iran. You're telling me you couldn't find one fucking real person?
Isn't there an area out? What's it called?
Little Iran.
Is it out there? Low Rise out there?
Yeah, we got it. It was basically Beverly Hills-ish, kind of. That's where a lot of the Iranians are. I'm just saying that, like, that's crazy. It is, and if we get A-Line or if we get anything now, it's just like, oh, that's like the worst thing that could happen. Oh, everyone's gotten woke now. I'm like, relax.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of dialogue. Don't worry. You're still getting all the leading roles. You still got all the main cast, the main plot points. Yeah. We're just mostly background characters.
And then there's a lot of having to self-create.
Yeah.
So if it's like a show that's like, oh, diversity, it's because it's mainly black cast by a black producer. Or same thing for the Asian group. It's a very Asian show about the Asian life in the back. But it's not like everybody's in a show together.
Yeah, it's very... I think we're on our way there. It would be nice to start having... Like, it's great that something like Everything Everywhere All at Once happened. That was a great film. We have Crazy Rich Asians. We got, The Brother's Son on Netflix was amazing. Mm-hmm. You're getting all these little things that are starting to pop up. And I would love to be more involved with some of these things. It would be cool for one day where, you know how like when you watch a movie full of a white cast, you don't go, that's a white movie.
No, you just...
That's a movie.
It's a movie, yeah.
But if it's an all black cast...
Like, dang, that's a black movie. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's not the norm.
Right? It would be cool for us to get to a point where like, yeah, it happens to be a black cast, but it's just a movie.
It's just a movie. Yeah.
Or like you have a mixed cast. It's like not a diversity checklist, but it's like, that's actually... Look at us. Look at this table right now.
Literally.
Facts.
Right? We're just existing. Right? It's not heavily just about like the fact that like we didn't organize this like, oh, we needed you when you were coming up with this, like, I need a black co-host, I need a Hispanic thing. Like it wasn't like that. It just existed. Yeah. Because life is like this, that's how media or it could be a reflection of that, I think.
I feel like that, and not to go too far, but I feel like that's gonna it's gonna take a long time.
It could.
No, for real, it is because right now, like it's so purposefully done, and it's so profound in our culture that it's that way to just be in order to make it normal. Almost 60% of all productions, major productions, have to purposefully be everyone at once. It has to for that to become a norm. But movies aren't like that.
Yeah, no.
They have to make it purposefully done for years.
Yeah.
For that to be in the conscience mind of the next generation to see it that way.
I feel like a lot of the angry voices online say it's like that already right now. But as a working actor, I can tell you it's not. As somebody who's going through casting, auditions, and looking at breakdowns and all that, it's like, no, they don't have a checklist. Like they can put up shows with all white casts like it's no problem. They'll still win Emmys, win Golden Globes, and do all the award season stuff. Like you could have a couple years ago, you could have a historic moment happen where for Best Actor you have a South Asian nominated and an East Asian nominated and a posthumous. Am I saying that posthumous? How do you say after someone's dead? Posthumous. Posthumous nomination for Chadwick Boseman. And a white guy still wins Best Actor, Anthony Hopkins. You had Riz Ahmed, you had Stephen Yeun, and Chadwick Boseman all nominated the same year for Best Actor, and Anthony Hopkins, who's already won an Oscar before, wins. How? That movie wasn't that good.
Mid, for sure.
Right? Like, let's be real. That's crazy.
And it definitely should have been Black Panther. I feel like not as me being a black guy.
Yeah, no, but I don't think he was nominated for Black Panther that when he was posthumous.
I know, but I'm saying like, I feel like it should have been.
Yeah, that was a cultural moment.
Yes,
it was
literally.
It was
game changer.
It was incredible. Like I remember, I went to like our Houston premiere of that, and so many of my friends like came in like African garb and like it was like such a. I mean, I've gone to superhero movies before. I'll go to a Marvel or DC movie and make a thing out of it. Yeah. That was the first time in a while I was like, oh, this is like it. This is something.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, yo.
This is a moment.
Facts, bro.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yes, bro.
Looking back, I'm like, dang, dude, I remember that time.
Like what other movies hit you like that?
And then what that did for kids too,
huge,
black boys and black girls seeing themselves represented in that movie and not having to further imagine it. Like it's like, oh, that's me there. And I'm like, that's so fucking cool.
So cool, man. Yeah.
That's so special.
I know.
That is special.
And I can't wait till they do Storm right.
Bruh.
Because that's gonna be another
so fire.
Yeah. I want one of mine in there, man. Like shit. Like what do we gotta invent one, but don't make it cheesy like Yoga Man or something. Like
Yoga Man would be absolutely wild.
Or like
Yoga Man would be cool.
All I can think of is like whatever they do now is just gonna be like it cannot be stupid. Like,
no, because that's how it usually happens. Yeah. They make it a very profound thing.
Yeah.
You know
Black Panther is cool.
Yes.
As like his character, his superpowers, his story arc, his world is dope. If we can get the same, like what did Shang-Chi was cool as fuck.
Yes.
That shit was dope. I think why it suffered is because it was released during the pandemic. Had that came out a year later or a year and a half later, that would have been that for that community. Yeah. You know? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because as long as it's not done in a cheesy way, it would hit. Like Crazy Rich Asians, I feel like Crazy Rich Asians was a border. Because amazing movie.
Yeah. And it was wild.
But that's what I'm saying. I felt like they kind of pushed the envelope too at the same time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be though, because like I think it was supposed to be like a fun, wild, entertaining movie. I feel like not every movie about minorities needs to be a sob dramatic story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like I remember hearing this, you watch Dear White People? Like not every movie about black people needs to be about slavery. That's crazy.
Exactly.
Like not every Oscar thing needs to be like that. Like
about
we don't have
slavery or struggle in some way.
But yeah, it doesn't just need to be trauma porn, like that sort of exploitation cinema. Like we are allowed to have fun too.
Yes.
That's what Crazy Rich Asians was, I think, for that community.
That's why it was so
like,
big.
It doesn't need to be like this,
and then someone's fighting somebody doing something.
And also, think of how many like white movies are just like Hangover.
Literally.
If they can have that, like we should have our own thing too. There was Harold and Kumar was so far ahead of his time.
Bro, one of the legendary.
So far ahead of his time. You have a gay Indian actor and you have an East Asian actor as leads in a comedy movie. That's unheard of.
Facts.
Like that's wild.
Yeah.
Because now it's very hard to convince a studio like we're filling up the leads with like minorities, like without putting like other famous people in here. That's wild. Like I would have.
I need to watch that now. What the heck?
You haven't seen Harold Kumar?
Never seen Harold Kumar? Oh,
there's so many movies.
It's such a crazy.
It's a classic, bro comedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm so behind on movies,
That was a banger.
TV, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I try to watch anytime I hear somebody say like a bunch of noise about a movie or TV show, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, me too.
See and get my own opinion on it.
That's
And also, because I don't want to like, I made that mistake with Breaking Bad. I started watching it when it ended. And then like I was texting all my friends like through each episode. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, dude, we've been.
That's what happened to me with Stranger Things, dude.
Oh, really? I was there for it when it dropped. Like I was part of it.
I feel when the next season come out, then that's where I feel I must be a part of it, you know. But yeah, I didn't get into it till like after the last season started because my sister was into it. And then they did something at the church, but that was Stranger Things thing. I was like, you know what? Let me see this. And
they showed Stranger Things at your church?
No, they did like a series.
It's like a series like that was like themed about strange things in the world and life. So they just use a title, Stranger Things.
Yeah, and then my sister, her birthday was coming up too, so the Stranger Things experience was happening. And she wanted to go. I'm like, you know what? I need to get into the show then. You know, now I'm hearing Metallica is a part of this. I'm like, what? Okay, let me watch this. Yeah. Bro, fell in love with it, man. And I'm so sad I missed out on the hype train with me.
What's happening?
So that's why I'm excited for the next one. Like, bro, I feel like I'm about to be in it, you know? But nah, man, the only shows I'm getting into lately are the ones I got to work on, which I can't say, sadly. But
non-disclosure agreements.
You just can't say what happened in it.
Oh well. But man, since we're on this topic right now with movies and shows, man.
Fuck DJ Khaled.
And yes, DJ Khaled. We'll get there too, man. So so how I got to know you was from acting, you know. So how'd you get in?
We met because of a photo shoot.
Yes,
for our mutual friend's brand. I met him through Sad Boy Crew, and then he started Bleach Cafe. Christian Gonzalez.
Christian, yeah,
that's a Christian. Is his last name Gonzalez?
I believe, yeah, it is Gonzalez.
If it's not Christian,
that's crazy.
Adam just did a racism. Tisk. Yeah. Anyway, Christian had Sad Boy Crew. I was a huge fan of what they were doing, and then he invited me to come out for his Bleach Cafe thing, and you were there,
and I was there. Yeah.
And then we met, and then I think you talked to me about like acting, and then possibly using my space for like a part of your Halloween.
Oh, this was afterwards. I didn't know you was an actor. I just thought you was just a model. Oh. And he was just a really cool guy, so of course I got your Instagram.
Oh yeah.
And then the more following you, I'm like, oh man, no, this guy's legit. He is him, you know. So,
I guess so.
But yeah, man. But yeah, since we're on the topic of, you know, man, Christian, thank you for bringing so many people together, man.
Yeah,
he does, man. He met Christian at one point, man.
Yeah,
he took that photo of us over there.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, so you could tell when that time was taken, you know,
the mask
with the masks up and everything.
Yeah, it's like 2020.
That's how long we've known him, man. It's crazy, man.
That's
but
wild.
No, he brought so many close people to me. But either way, man. But what got you into acting, though, man?
I mean, I think it was when I first lied to either my parents or my principal, and I got away with it.
Lied.
Yeah, like
so, like you had to like act out that something didn't happen.
Like,
oh, okay.
Then I was like, oh, I can do this. I can just make stuff up and people will believe me. No, but legitimately, I was a wide receiver on my middle school football team.
Okay.
7th grade. And our team sucked. Like, we lost every game, and we would be out there, you know, like doing the drills for hours and hours in the hot sun with nothing but just dudes. Okay. And then you have to shower with them afterward. It fucking sucked. It was the worst. You just
was all up in Texas?
Yeah. And it's in Texas. It's fucking hot as hell. Yeah. Right. So my friend, who was also like, a wide receiver, I think he was like 2nd or 3rd string or some shit. Like, he was like, dude, I ain't doing this stuff anymore. This is whack. I'm like, what are you gonna do next year? He's like, I'm gonna do theater. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about theater? What do you mean you're gonna do theater, bro? Like, we're fucking football. We play football. What the fuck? And he's like, no, dude, we get to stay inside. And all the hot girls are there. And I'm like, okay. I see what
you're saying.
He's just like, and we get to be with them like unsupervised a lot of times, and we can do whatever the fuck we want. Like, you know, like we have to rehearse and shit. And I was like, okay, all right, I get this. Definitely seems better than being with a bunch of sweaty dudes in the hot sun, fucking stinking shit, right? Fuck that. Next year, I started doing it, and like I fell in love with it, man. Like I started doing, we were doing improv. I was doing all the improv competitions because like I started getting really good at comedy improv. So like I did like our district, our regional, state, like we were like winning. Like it was fun.
That's awesome.
That's cool, man.
And I spent a lot of time with like the hottest girls in school, all in the theater program. Like I went from being like this kid that no one wanted to like ever talk to, you know, really nerdy, kind of overweight-ish a little bit. And like theater gave me this confidence of like, oh, this is the first time I actually like am doing something like where I'm excelling at, and I'm having a great time doing it. Because everything else in school, you could be good at math, but like you're not really having a good time. I'm like, me personally, I wasn't having a good time with like some of the academic stuff. And then with football, like, I was spending a lot of time doing it, but I wasn't having fun. But with theater, I was having a great time. And then I just kept doing it throughout high school. And then I kind of fell out of acting for a little bit when I started taking music a little bit more seriously. But then like I found my way back to acting, and then now I'm able to balance both.
So what do you mean by music? What did that look like?
I'm a musician.
Not saying like that journey though.
Oh, like I got my guitar the same exact time I got into my first play in middle school. So I had been doing both at the same time for a while.
Okay.
And eventually I just started learning how to play guitar. I was in high school bands, you know, like garage kind of stuff. And then I got into some bands that were starting to play some shows, and I would either be like the keyboardist, the guitarist, or the singer, the screamer. It was like metal and punk stuff. And then like eventually I got into this rock band that like we started touring. We had like a song on the radio, and then like it didn't work out. And then I just became a solo artist, and now I've been releasing my own material like by myself for a while. I have like 32 songs out now.
Dang.
Original, no covers.
That's a nice discography, bro. 32? Sheesh, I got 2.
Third one drops. My first song with the label drops day after tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, so it already came out by the time it's aired.
Yeah,
which is crazy,
Exit
man.
Wounds out everywhere.
Come
Little
on,
plug.
man.
Yeah.
I'm very proud.
So you
of
got
that one.
signed, all right? How did that happen?
Wait, are you signed by a label or
Yeah.
did you distribute through a label?
I'm signed to 11 Music. How I got that is kind of crazy. There's a very well known DJ named DJ Habib Beats, who I'm eternally grateful for now. He had put up on his Instagram like a story of like, send me your music, I might put it in my set. So my friend told me to do it. She was like, shout out to Shafrina, best friend. She told me to send it to him, and I was just like, whatever. And what did you just say? What was that? Okay. Anyway, so she tells me to send it to him. I did it, fully expecting him to never reply. Because I've been sending my stuff out to blogs, to influencers, labels, blah, 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 blah. No one ever replies to me. I make weird music. Like I make Middle Eastern, Indian inspired, alternative rock. I do a mix of things. And there's not really an audience necessarily for this. So like I send it, go to sleep, wake up the next day. He sends me not just a little reply. He sends me a whole ass email telling me how much he likes my shit, how awesome it is, and like what he thinks of it, this, and that. And I was just like, I can't believe it. I love this DJ so much. He said that he couldn't use it in his set because it doesn't fit the format, which is totally cool. Yeah. But he's like, I know somebody who's going to love you. And then without even asking me, he sent it over to that label. I didn't do anything. And then the next day I noticed that like 11 Music, Abed followed me on Instagram, and I was just like, oh, that's wild. Right? Okay. That's crazy, dude. And then I reached out, and then we had a great conversation. We talked about my goals and like what I want to do. And it's just a great fit. And we'll see how it goes, but like
how recent?
This happened last month.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
Last month.
Yeah. And they gave me like a soft deadline for like a song.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never had a company tell me to turn in any music ever on time. So I felt like a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. So I'm at like 11:50 p.m. of the deadline, still tweaking it and stuff. And then like I turn it in, and then the next day I listen to it. I'm like, that was the best mix I've ever done in my life. Holy shit. Like that sounds fucking amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
I need more people to be like, hey, turn this in now. Like,
oh, that's dope.
So that's how that happened. Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to DJ Heavy Beats. He's the best guy.
He sounds so familiar for some reason, bro.
Dude, he's been going like his remixes have been going crazy on TikTok and Instagram. He's putting together music that I'm like, that's so cool that you do that. What he's doing with like Arab, Indian music and like EDM and stuff is like what I'm aiming to do with rock and Arab and Indian music.
Word.
Yeah. Because I grew up hearing the first song. Actually, I have a question for you guys. What's the first song you remember hearing in your life? Do you remember that?
The first song?
Like that you remember liking and enjoying?
I can tell you what I listened to this morning. In my life.
Your first memory of a song.
You
don't have that?
I know. I think I do.
What is yours?
I think it's 50 Cent in the Club.
Okay, that's a good one.
I think that's like the first like memory I have. I even cut this up.
I'm not talking about like Wheels on the Bus.
I know. I even stole the CD from Walmart.
Love that.
Love
that. He didn't just pirate the album. He fucking stole it.
I stole the CD from him.
You're like those kids in those ads. They're like, you wouldn't steal a CD when you like when they would be like, don't download music. What was yours?
I want to feel, the song Pass the Doochie from Scooby-Doo. I was so upset with Scooby-Doo, bro. So I feel like I heard it everywhere during that time.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Mine was DD by Shab Khalid. That was the first song I remember hearing. And it was this awesome fusion of like hip hop, Arabic music. It had like a Moroccan French thing to it.
Nice.
It was just so cool. Anyway, that was the first song I remember hearing. Yeah. And then I remember playing this video game called Prince of Persia. And the first two Prince of Persias on PlayStation 2, Sands of Time and Warrior Within, the soundtrack was a mix between Middle Eastern music and rock and metal.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Wait, how old are you?
I never say on. I can tell you when we're not recording.
That's what I'm saying. Say right now.
No, I can't, because if it's on tape, I can't have it. I will tell you when it's over. I am sworn to a blood oath to never say. I literally made a blood oath to never say 3 things about me in public.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Me and a friend made a blood pact. That's crazy. Yeah. You could put that in there.
I have a general idea, but okay.
Anyway, because I'd gotten a modded PS2 from an older cousin. And we were able to get like burned games and stuff. Because, you know, with like PlayStation 3, when I was in like, you know, coming up, like you couldn't pirate those games. Yeah. So I got this like, my cousin gave me this like modded PS2, and I would just like play all those as a kid. And because like, I don't know about y'all, but like I was definitely a hand-me-down guy sometimes. Like, I hardly ever got things like brand new.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just like, there was very few times where like my mom would be like, here is something that is yours,
like, yo,
and no one's owned it before.
What?
Like
when is that the box?
When I got like the PlayStation Portable.
Oh,
that was the first, like one of the first ones where I was like, this is like, no one's had this before.
PSP
but the PS2 was like a modded thing. Anyway, so I remember playing that game and that soundtrack, and it was burned into my head. And I'm like, man, this sounds in my head already. And now as I'm making music again, I'm like, oh, like I am now trying to come back to my childhood a little bit and bring those like stuff from my culture and stuff that I, you know, grew up playing and bring them together.
That's fire, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool, bro.
So now I'm like making these songs where I'm like singing in English and Urdu and in Arabic and mixing like rock and like dubke and like I would like to do a bunga rock song. Like there's so many different ways to make this
Bunga hit though.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
It hits.
Yes. Imagine that with some fucking guitars and drums and shit. That would be fucking crazy.
Dang.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm working towards. I mean, I have a song I'm working on now that's like a dubkiss song with pop punk in it. Nice. And I typed it in Google and I'm like, has anyone done this before? It hasn't. No one's put rock and dubkit like that together, like pop punk and that. So that's gonna be cool.
It is cool, man. And just hearing your stuff too, it's so different. I'm like, dude, but this is so good.
I'm glad you think so.
So good, man.
Even you saying that right now inspired me and gave me like confirmation on what I want to do. Because being from DC, we have like our own music out in the DMV called Go-Go.
I haven't heard this.
That's what I grew up on. It's like our music out there. So we make some originals. It's like always live bands. And we make originals or we do like covers. But it's like, hey, like to whatever song. It always had the same kind of beat to it.
Nice.
And those original samples from those bands that I grew up listening to, like, oh, I want to be those guys when I grew up. I had the thought recently, I'm like, I want to use some of those samples in the music I'm playing now. Because that's ingrained in my life. I could never not listen to those. Even I had to live there in 7-8 years now, but Go-Go always has my heart, and I'll always go back to and listen to it on old YouTube videos, stuff like that. So you saying that, like, just taking what you grew up in your childhood and adding it, I'm like, okay, that's the confirmation I wanted to do.
So you're a musician as well?
I'm a DJ, and I just started producing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think what was like a aha moment for me, like a year or 2 years ago, because I was already making music, but I felt like I was on a hamster wheel. I was just like doing it for the sake of doing it. I'm a musician, so I make music. That's why I'm making music. But then like I reversed it. And I was like, why am I? Why do I like my favorite songs? What about that made me want to play music? And then really investigated that and got in touch with that. Because a lot of the times when I hear people saying like about my music, like, oh, it reminds me of stuff I used to listen to in middle school or in high school. I'm like, yeah, that's by design. Because I am getting in touch with my inner child. I picked up a guitar when I was 14. It only makes sense that it's going to be an extension of that. And so what am I supposed to do? Now, all of a sudden I need to be a hip hop artist because it is the most popular genre of music in the world just because that's the cultural zeitgeist and just abandon what I do to please you? Or should I start making folk music because that's also one of the most popular genres? Am I going to be the brown Noah Kahan? Fuck no. Just for you? No way. I make music for me first. If you happen to like it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But if you don't, and all you can think of are like little condescending things to say about my shit, then it's not for you. You're not my audience.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. Because no matter what you do in life, 100% of everyone's not going to like it.
Yeah, and if you try, I did try that before.
And that will stress you the heck out.
I tried to make a pop song. I did everything right. It was a financial disaster.
Exactly.
I had hired like a Britney Spears songwriter. Like she literally wrote for Britney Spears. I hired my friend who's a producer who's worked with like top artists. And then the guy who did my music video did a music video for Travis Scott. I got a marketing company. I did all this shit. That song, as good as it is, had nothing to do with me. There was no fingerprint, no DNA of Adam Elara in that song. Some people say it's their favorite song of mine. And I'm like, I have so much distance and distaste for that because like I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I just paid for the damn thing and I made no money off of it. So it's like a reminder to me of like why I do what I do. Because if I do it the way that everyone's supposed to do it to please everybody, I lose.
Yourself. Yeah.
But if I make a song that no one listens to, but I really like it,
you'll be happy about it. Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, I think it's cool. So that's kind of getting back in touch with why you make music. Why are you an actor? Why did you start doing this thing? Is really helpful to keep as like a guiding compass, you know, help make you help you navigate your decisions and then also keep you in check. Because if it's like, oh, like if you start doing stuff where you're like kind of compromised, then you start to be like, all right, I need to make sure I'm back on like the right path.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone's got a different moral compass or like what they're willing to do and not do. As long as you stay true to like what your thing is, I think you're going to be in a good place. I think that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man. Always remember your why, man.
The why.
Your why.
So it's about the why.
Yes. Yeah. And that might change. Your why could change.
Yeah. Over time, because you grow as a person.
I don't have the same goals as an 8th grader. You know,
like, I wanted to be a cop when I grow up.
That's horrible.
Exactly.
ACAB, F12.
Crazy, right? I wanted to be a cop.
I'm so glad you're not a cop.
Me too.
I would never be in a law enforcement podcast. That's crazy.
Let's talk legislation.
Like, oh, why not?
All right. I want to hear about it.
Hear about what?
I want to hear about it. So what's up with
DJ Khaled?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. What I'm wearing right now, this is a necklace.
Okay.
Of Palestine. You guys know this is Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
This is a kufaya, which is also Palestinian colors, black and white.
Yeah.
DJ Khaled is arguably one of the most famous Palestinians in the world, and he has said nothing in the last 6 months. We are 30,000 dead bodies in of mostly innocent civilians, women, and children, and he has said nothing. I'm not Palestinian.
But also at the same time, do you want DJ Khaled saying something?
That's the conundrum of like, because if he does open his mouth, he says something stupid.
Out of pocket.
Right? Mm-hmm. He could at the very least be doing something.
Yes.
If he's going to keep his mouth shut.
Absolutely.
Then at least do something.
Yeah.
We're seeing no evidence of that. In fact, we're seeing something where he's kind of doing something for the ops. Right? For real, I've never watched your show before, to be honest, right? Like, how many of y'all, you've had probably a lot of Christian rappers on here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a few, yeah.
How many of them are speaking about Palestine?
None of them, but...
Okay, so you have Christian rappers that come on that are making music about Christianity and have said nothing about the birthplace of their Lord and Savior being blown to smithereens, where the oldest churches in the world are being destroyed, where the modern day descendants of the very first Christian community in the world is being decimated and have not said a single word. And churches are not saying anything about this in the United States. Yeah. Why is that happening?
I think one of the main roots is people aren't educated on it. So they probably don't even know the actual closeness to their lives that have an actual impact on their life. And that goes with a lot of things.
Then what are they talking about in church? Because Bethlehem is in the West Bank.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, I think it comes down to education. Yeah. And to be completely honest and transparent, American society, when it comes to education on things like that, is terrible.
But this is
that's real.
But this isn't an educational issue. This isn't about math or science. This is human lives.
That's the same. To know about it,
killed.
Yeah, to even know that. Well, okay. I think there's multiple ways to look at it. So we know about everything that's going on over there. We know that part, and there is a lot of like things that are trying to help and send resources and things like that. But when it comes to the extent of, because there's a difference when you know about something and try to help versus like, dang, this is going on with this part of attachment to my life. I need to go figure this out.
Are actively paying.
That's what I'm saying.
To kill kids.
People don't know that. That's what I'm saying. That kind of education, not like math, science, art. I like as like to know about something enough to be like, this actually does make an impact, and I need to take action.
Well, then why aren't pastors making more of an effort to educate their congregations to what's happening to the oldest
too that probably don't have that? That's what I'm saying.
Are they stupid? This is the birthplace of the religion that they have a building for. Yeah. The whole reason that Christianity even exists is because of a radical person from that part of the world went out and did a missionary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think you'd have the most connection to that? I mean, these are the oldest churches. Like this can't come back.
Yeah.
You destroy these churches, you blow them up. There's no getting that history back. Yeah, these are the first Christians, like the modern day descendants of that. Yeah. Once they're gone, they're gone. Yeah. There is no, it's like Native Americans. Are we just going to get rid of all of them until there's only a few left where they don't matter anymore? And then we just say that like, oh, we feel bad about them once a year because people are talking about Christopher Columbus. Is that we're going to do the same mistake again? Yeah. That's crazy to me.
I know. But that's like, I commend you because of your knowledge and your passion for it. But everyone doesn't share that. And that sucks because that's the reality.
So so I'm sorry, like as a musician, like what are Christian rappers rapping about then? Like what do they talk about? What is in their music? What, like if you're not, because most traditional hip hop would be like a commercial for consumerism, right? Because it's mostly like designer clothes, my shoes, my car, my whip, my car, my bitches, whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's entertainment value. Yeah. But what are Christian rappers talking about?
We're like the opposite.
Yeah, like basically about what the Bible says. And how to live your life, how to love on other people, basically just what Jesus told us how to live. That's what they're rapping about. And that's what I'm saying. It's not like they're not. I guess you can use the word woke, but it's just like I said. It comes down to education. It's like for me as a black guy, there are some people that are ride or die. My African brothers and sisters. This is injustice. Blah blah. And I can argue the same point. Why is not all black people acting like that?
Yeah, no,
but that's what I'm saying. It just comes. That's what I'm saying. It's a very similar thing. There are some people that's like, oh no, this is how I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna dress up like this. I'm gonna carry myself this way. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure my family has these deep values that we talk about. Yeah. And then there is some black people that aren't like that. Yeah. But it's not like shame on the black people. It's more or less like they don't know or fully understand, or there's the people like that, or there's some people that also don't care, which is sad. Yeah. But that's how you can copy and paste that into any world issue, copy and paste those categories.
Yeah, but with that specific example, there's an inherent hypocrisy because like if you're making, if you make a living off of like, narrative storytelling based of your experience about growing up in the hood and being impoverished and, that whole connection to black culture and all that kind of stuff. And then you make money from that and then you do nothing to put on for the people and the culture.
That does happen though. Some people like that get called out. They do in the hip hop community, especially like where like those people came from.
Because you're literally making money off of this, and doing nothing to help address that problem.
And people get called out for it sometimes.
Yeah, and I feel like I remember, because I don't know how things are in California. Mm-hmm. I know in Texas, some of the biggest funders of Israel are Christian evangelical churches because they have a doomsday thing. Like they're Christian Zionists. They're like, if all these people go into Israel and they all have their own land again, that's when Jesus will come back. So they're basically preparing for the end of the world by funding Israel. Mm-hmm. And it's coming at the cost of Christian lives and Muslim lives and Arabs and all these people that innocently have to die to fulfill some guy's doomsday prophecy. That's crazy to me. And those people are in Congress, in Senate, in positions of power. And it's nuts. I mean, we're 6 months in. How many thousands of more people have to die? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And our tax dollars are funding this. We have no say in this stuff. It's crazy. Like, people will say, like, if you say anything about it, you're an anti-Semite.
And that's another reason why people don't.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Arabs are Semitic people. What do you guys...
I know.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we don't want another Holocaust to happen. Like, yeah, we don't either. You know who did the Holocaust? Fucking white people. Arabs didn't do it. Why are we getting thrown in there? Like, oh, well, Hitler got the idea from an Arab. Like, but what are you talking about?
See?
You're just making shit up.
Education. See, that's what I'm saying. You're explaining it right there.
Google is free. Social media is free.
But can we trust that? Be real. Can we fully trust
you can upload? You can see kids being blown up.
No, that yes.
On your phone.
Yes.
There is no art. This is not AI.
Yeah.
Little selfies with body bags. Doctors, hospitals, universities, gone. There's no arguing this anymore. You could have gotten away with this before social media was a huge thing.
Yeah.
But now you can't.
Nope.
Yeah, facts.
There's no escaping.
There's no hiding.
It's there in your face.
It's there, yeah.
And look, I feel terrible of what happened at that concert as a musician.
Yeah.
This is like the worst case scenario. You're playing a show and then boom, all hell breaks loose and people die and innocent people are taken hostage. That's terrible. But it's intellectually dishonest to be talking about 200 hostages when you have 30,000 dead bodies on the other side. That you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, there's what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's like the all lives mattering everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when we're talking about like law enforcement inequitable, like I don't know how to phrase this right, but like we're talking about law enforcement biased towards a certain racial minority, and then you're talking about like
but all people. No, this was actually
we're talking about this specific thing.
Yeah, trust me.
Why are we?
That's what I'm saying. I get what you're saying, 1,000%. That's what I'm saying. Like I hear you. Like trust me.
We're talking about George Floyd right now, and Breonna Taylor, and like all these other innocent people, and then
Not
you want
these guys.
But then you'd be like, oh, but we matter too. It's like no one's saying you don't. We just want you to agree with this first.
Yep.
The fact that you keep saying everybody else means I don't really think you think what I'm saying is true either. Can you at least say Black Lives Matter first? And they can't. Like, oh, well, all lives matter. Like, well, if you think all, it's a
that's
circle.
what I'm saying. And that's what I say, because those people that are saying all lives matter, not focusing on the main point, aren't educated enough to actually understand what's truly going on, to have the personal attachment to actually help want to make a difference.
Do you think it's a problem of education or willful ignorance?
Both. That's what I'm saying. Those are all the different sectors of why things don't change sometimes.
Or they're purposefully doing, like, they have another agenda.
All the above, that's the part that sucks.
Yeah.
Everything you just said are all the above of why people do or don't do what they do in life. And that's just, which sucks. Because it sounds like doom and gloom to say that's just how it is. But to not acknowledge that's how it is part of the issue. So you have to acknowledge that some people willfully ignore. Some people are actually going for the other side. Some people just don't know enough. Some people choose to turn a blind eye because they don't want to talk about it and be ostracized by their family and community that's around them. There's so many pockets of why people do and don't do. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, let's be real. The world, greenhouse gases, pollution, all that stuff. If you woke up every day and you coughed your lungs out for 30 minutes unless you recycled your plastic, guess what? Everyone will recycle their plastic. But because pollution's not that bad and it's not affecting us that much, some people recycle, some people don't. Some people don't give a crap.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So unless people actually fully understanding what's going on, how it impacts them or it impacts their future, some people don't move or give enough care to want to make a difference.
Yeah. And that's just the cost of like how many innocent people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like me growing up in Texas, dude, like first seeing, America's invasion of Afghanistan. Afghanistan had really little to do with 9/11. Most of those hijackers, Bin Laden was Saudi. Most of the hijackers are Saudi. We go in to defeat the Taliban, and we don't. Like 20 years later, we walk out. Same people are still in charge.
Yeah.
We go to Iraq off a false premise that they had weapons of mass destruction. And between Iraq and Afghanistan, like our motivation was 9/11, where 3,000 people died. Take a wild guess on how many people have died in Iraq and Afghanistan as a direct result of U.S. military intervention. Just take a guess. Throw out a number.
So much more. I think it's millions, isn't it? Yeah.
4.5 million people are dead because America justified an event where 3,000 people died. And now I'm seeing it all over again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how many times are we going to do this again?
Yeah.
And without any consequences. Nothing. You guys know what Guantanamo Bay is?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Guantanamo Bay is a prison camp in Cuba where America had people held there without due process, without trial, without court, without law, without nothing. 87% of those people held in there were sold to them through a bounty program that the U.S. military did in Afghan villages where they're like, if you tell on your neighbor and they happen to be in the Taliban or something, we'll give you $5,000. So all those people were like desperate for money.
They were just saying.
They just said it. And then people were held in this place for years and years, tortured, extreme methods of torture. There's a show or a movie on Prime called The Report with Adam Driver. Okay. It's about going through all the methods of torture that the U.S. did on these people that ended up being mostly non-combatants.
Wow.
No consequence, by the way. Nothing.
Yeah.
There's all this. This could have been me. I could have just been on a flight coming back one day, and then all of a sudden, I'm just interrogated, and then I'm held like hostage by the U.S. government. I mean, how much are they allowed to get away with before we're just like, I can't do this? Like, what do you do?
That's what I'm saying. It's the closeness. I bet you it started happening to other races that are more the majority. Let's be real.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, this country's literally founded on the genocide of Native Americans, First Nations people, right? No consequence. We gave them a couple of reservations, some casinos, and, call it a day.
Yep.
All of our, historical monuments, a lot of them are built on slave labor. No reparations, right? I mean, it's just, we keep this lie going about, how great everything is, all this stuff, and all this, patriotism. Deep-rooted at the cost of insane amounts of, innocent lives and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, dude. I just grew up seeing, people demonizing my group of people as being the bad guy and the reason why everything's wrong.
Yeah.
We're fighting the bad guy. We're fighting the bad guy. It's are you sure this is the bad guy? These are kids in villages.
Yeah.
Who wear sandals apparently, right? Because they can't afford shoes and they're all dirty, right? Yeah. I mean, that's how many of us have to die before you see us as human beings? That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
And the way I feel about that is, I feel like the focus and motivation of people in power are not aligned with equality.
That's why it's very easy to see what their motivation is.
And that's why those are the people that are in power.
And power.
Yeah.
They want to keep themselves in power and they want to keep themselves rich. Whatever ends to get to that goal, they will keep doing.
Yeah.
And oftentimes that leads to things not fully being taken care of.
Yeah. If I can get another check from a weapons manufacturing company, great. I'll suck your dick, Boeing. I'll fucking, lick your taint, Lockheed Martin. I'll do whatever you want. I mean, that's essentially what it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're seeing right now on social media for the first time, people going up to senators and congressmen on their phone and being like, do you care? Do you care about kids dying? And they're like, I don't support Hamas. It's like, that wasn't my question. Yeah. Do you care about kids dying? And they're like, I don't support Hamas. Like, why are you not answering my question? Why are you... Yeah. No one's talking about Hamas. Why are we even? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's been something that's been
No, I can tell. That's how I was allowing you and giving the opportunity to let it all because it's important. Yeah. It's important for people to learn, people to know everything that you say, how you feel is valid.
It's all connected.
And there's millions of people that feel like that also.
This is the tenet of intersectionality. It's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
The plight of minorities in all these different groups, it's still linked. Mm-hmm. When we're talking about the genocide of Native Americans, when we're talking about our prison industrial complex, overwhelmingly Black population, we're talking about over policing in minority neighborhoods, we're talking about all of this stuff. It's all connected. You can argue that there's red lines around some of this stuff, but I really feel like these are all this, at the end of the day, this is all oppression, and we're all fighting against that. And whoever you want to identify, if you want to use the woke terms it's the white supremacist patriarchy, fine. If you want to say it's capitalism, fine. But at the end of the day, it's the same systems in place that are used to subjugate, control, exploit people in the working class. And that's, you know, what I'm so fucking mad about, man. Because I really just want to make art.
We finally found this bread moment.
I really just want to make art. I want to entertain people.
Yeah.
You know, that's my goal, right? That's why the why.
Yeah.
But then the other guiding why is like, when we talk about representation and diversity, it's not just for the sake of it. If you grew up not seeing yourself represented in music, movies, any of this stuff, it is a little bit isolating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? How come none of the action guys look like me? How come none of the romantic guys look like me? How come I blah 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 blah? Or like, how come whenever I go to a concert, I never see, you know, one of me up on that stage? That's not cool. Right? Yeah. So if we do these things and we get involved, we start making movies, we make music, start telling our own stories. Maybe one day some kid that looks like us in that audience is like, oh, well, if he could do it, I could do it too. You know,
You know what? This is actually perfect.
What's up?
To have him wrap up like this.
Okay.
So, no, that's how we usually finish it.
Okay.
So what you're saying to us, I want you to look directly in the camera.
Oh, God.
We're not here.
All right.
We're not here. And basically,
that's usually how we end every episode whenever we have a guest.
So you're already there, so I was like, might as well
go there.
So what you were saying to us, basically communicate with somebody, be like, you know what I mean? Go out and do that and make a difference. And
I don't know how to, okay.
It's what you were just saying. About like representation and doing what you do.
The important thing about representation, right? Why it matters. As a kid, when you're watching movies and listening to music and you're going to these concerts and stuff and you're not seeing yourself represented, it's a very isolating thing. You feel very othered. And so what would be really nice is that if we tell these stories, like we make music, we create art, and we make ourselves represented, whether it's in front of the camera, behind the camera, on stage, wherever it is, I don't care. It means something. I mean, we were talking about Black Panther earlier. That was so special. Shang-Chi did that. Miss Marvel is doing that for little brown girls too, right? I mean, we have all these we got crumbs. The moment we get something, we're like, yes, it's a win. It doesn't have to be perfect. And if it does that, can you imagine we start telling stories, we end up in these positions where some kid in the audience that looks like us sees it and then doesn't think, oh man, like I can't do that, right? Sees it like, if he could do it, I could do it too. I think that's a really powerful thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because it seemed impossible for me growing up. I mean, my parents would always say like, oh, you can't do that. Our people don't get to do those things. So it's very discouraging. But if we have more of us doing it, then people will be like, oh, it's possible. You just have to work really hard.
Yeah.
No. Love that. Man,
what an amazing time we had, man.
No, that was great, actually.
I feel like I just talked.
Huh?
I was yapping.
No, we're here to interview you. We're not. It's not about us.
We're not getting interviewed. What? Have you come all the way from LA to interview us? That's crazy.
What's your favorite color?
Huh? My favorite color? Black, I guess.
Mine is white, green, and yellow.
White, green, and yellow. Okay.
Hint, hint.
Hot pink, jet black, sometimes pastels, but right now in this moment, it's red, white, black, and green.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so before we wrap up, tell everybody your social medias and what you got coming up, what you're looking forward to.
My social media, most of it is at Adam Elara, ADAMELARA. You can find me on like Spotify and listen to my music on there. I have music coming out all the time. New song is going to be out by the time this episode is. Okay. Exit Wounds, now available everywhere. Courtesy of Levantine Music.
Levantine Music.
That's
Levantine Music, man. Bro, appreciate you coming out, man. This was
of course.
Great,
that was awesome.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. It was really nice meeting you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, this is a great way to meet somebody.
Exactly, man. Come on. Yeah. Right, y'all. We'll see you on the next episode. Come on.
Hey.
What was the name of it? Wayy
Up. Wait, because only way's up, bro.
Only way's up.